Joe, I've been looking forward to this conversation. I've been watching you fighting for a long time now.
Oh yeah, man. Now, thank you. I've been actually had a chance to check out a lot of your stuff that you actually put out some great footage and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, this is some great knowledge and stuff that you're putting out with the whole collection and stuff like that. So I really like it a lot.
You're getting married this week, aren't you?
Yeah, man. It's I've been through it all. I've been through fight weeks. You know what I mean? But this one's a marriage week for me. So so I get married coming this Saturday to my lady Copeland, North Carolina. So I'm really excited. It's a new life venture, you know. So I'm looking forward to it, man. And you know, and we're taking off. I had some trips planned before we planned the actual wedding day and stuff like that. So get married on Saturday, then we take off to Australia and then over to the UK as well. So she's coming with me on the first trip, and then not on the second though.
So where are you getting married? Is it where are you getting married?
Oh, we're getting married here in a winery in California, near where I proposed to her a year ago. So yeah, we're getting married this Saturday, which is our anniversary, the 24th. I told her, she asked what day we wanted to do it. I said, hey, let's just keep it simple. I've got our anniversary down. I haven't, you know, messed up and forgot about it. I was like, remember I get hit in the head for a living. So I was like, my memory, it comes and it goes from time to time, you know. So she obliged me to doing it on our anniversary day. So we get married on our anniversary on the 24th out here in wine country.
Killing two birds with one stone. That's
hey,
kind of work.
You got to try and keep it simple, brother. Kids, keep it simple, right?
So, she's a fighter as well. How is it you met then? How did you first meet?
We met through martial arts. I can't, to be honest, I can't put an exact date on the actual time and date that we actually met each other because we've just kind of known each other over through the years. And then so we just kind of started like as a friendship, and I didn't think it would obviously blossom into anything. And then, you know, some years later, you know, be walking down the aisle. She'll be walking down the aisle with me and stuff. So she'll be Mrs. Danielson. So it kind of just blossomed. You know, martial arts is kind of you meet so many different people from so many different walks of life, and you never know who it'll place in front of you in your path. So it's been one of life's greatest blessings to be you know, able to do martial arts, to be able to meet the people that I've met, and to be able to travel and see the world like I have. So you know, this is just another blessing that martial arts has given me.
Colby's Sage's sister, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. So technically, Sage will be my brother-in-law coming in a week. So he's pumped. I'm like, yeah, Sage, I'm gonna be your brother, and I'm a brother. Like, you get like two brothers in one. Oh, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? I'm glad you guys are tuning in, just saying what's up to people.
Yeah, there's going to be loads of comments coming up. Someone just asked, when's the UK seminar? I know, when does you've got, is it 10 days or 2 weeks you're in the UK doing seminars?
Yeah, I'm basically in the UK. I'm in the UK for a quick spurt. The seminar tour actually filled up really quickly. I even dialed you in on the last day I had. It was like the first day that I get there. So it's pretty much from the 12th to the 23rd. So it's like about 10 days, 11 days of just straight seminar touring. I'm excited to come over to the UK this time. I mean, last time I came over there to fight, obviously, and that was a great time over there. You guys have always treated me really well. So I'm looking forward to coming over and sharing some of my knowledge with my evolution fighting system and stuff.
So where can people find out more information about all the seminars? Is there a place they can go to?
Yeah, you guys can check out my IG. I'll have another post coming up shortly with attachments to all the different seminars, so that way you guys can contact any seminars that are close to you guys' area, because a lot of people been hitting me up about, like, oh, where's this one, where's that one? So I'll make sure I tag all the everybody that I'll be going to their school with, so that way you guys can contact those school owners, so that way you guys can get into those seminars. Yeah,
for anyone in the UK. I have the first one on Thursday.
There you go. Might as well throw the plug out there. Shameless plug. Nothing wrong with it, right?
I kick it off. I kick it off on Thursday.
Oh yeah. I'm really excited. I get over there. I mean, I literally come from Australia, and then and then I come home for less than 24 hours, and then I go straight to the UK. The reason why it kind of all got set up like that is I can't announce it necessarily yet, but I possibly will have a fight coming up right after that. So as soon as I get back from the UK, I'll be going right into training camp. So I'm looking forward to coming out to the UK. So anybody at the seminars, I might need some sparring partners and stuff like that, so that way we can get down and get some work in and stuff at the same time, have some fun.
So, going back a little bit, those people who maybe don't know a bit about your history. I mean, first of all, I can't get over you're 39. Your mum and dad have got great genes. You've been blessed.
Oh yeah, man. Martial arts is I think martial arts has been like the fountain of youth to me. You know what I mean? It's just kept me young-minded, young in body, young in spirit, and then I feel absolutely amazing. And, you know, I'm 39 and I feel younger and stronger than I ever have. I feel faster. You know, the knowledge is the biggest tool. As you know, just as later in life, you're able to reflect, you're able to use all your different experiences. And so I'm able to use all those experiences that I got from, you know, just from my martial arts, from my sport karate, and I'm able to interpret that now into my kickboxing and into the MMA world. And I train a lot of the guys that are, you know, are full contact guys that are in Bellator, that are in UFC, and I actually, believe it or not, I make them all point spar. And it is so different to them. I make them just move around and work on more, you know, speed and timing. So yeah, I think that because I grew up in a style of hitting and not being hidden as I get older, I'm still faster and stronger than any opponents that I ever face. And no one that I face in kickboxing or in MMA will be as fast and will be able to hit me as quick as I can hit them.
That's drawing me on to something. I have a load of questions for you, but yeah, you're kind of like flying the flag for traditional arts in the elite world of kickboxing and MMA. Karate. What you started when you were small? Was it karate you started in, or was it taekwondo? Which one was first?
Well, I took a mixture of a few different styles. I started when I was about 5 years old. As you put my business in the street and told everybody I'm 39, but you know I try and age well, you know. But I started when I was 5 years old. So I'm a second generation martial artist through my father. Like I've been doing it for since I can remember, pretty much. And I started off in a Kempo Shotokan. In American Taekwondo. So I have several different black belts: Kempo, Shotokan, American Taekwondo, and then also in our system of the Muay Thai training, I also have a black belt in that as well. So so I kind of do an eclectic blend of it all. But martial arts has been like just kind of like a way of life. Some people do it as a sport, as a hobby. I don't think there's too many days I've gotten up and I haven't done some form of martial arts.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because your background is very different to a lot of the guys at Bellator, for example. I mean, your journey's been a very different one. When you first started making that transition, were there a lot of doubters and haters for that kind of a background?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, anytime one you go in as a new person to a different kind of sport or style than you're used to, there's going to be doubters or haters or whatever you want to call them, naysayers. So it's actually been very fun. I mean, at the beginning, people are like, I don't understand this. Why is he doing this? This is not going to work. This and that. But I mean, I stuck to the things that work for me. I mean, I remember going in with my boxing coaches and my Muay Thai coaches, and you know, I'm in there and moving around. They're like, I don't know why you're doing this style. Like, what's up with this style? Why do you got your hands this way? Why are you bouncing that way? And then they start to see that I'm able to make it work because they're just different angles and different things that people aren't used to seeing. And it's the ability to control distance, I think, is the biggest difference that people don't understand. And they say, oh, well, you know, I can block this or I can block that, but they don't understand that the ability to maintain and close the distance in an instant, and the type of power that you can generate if you control all that spacing and stuff. So
you had a lot of fights on. Is it called Combat League?
World Combat League. Yeah, World Combat League. That is yeah, throwback to World Combat League with Chuck Norris. That was actually a really fun time. That was kind of like the first time I kind of got a chance to introduce my like martial arts karate style to kind of like the world on world platform. So that was a whole lot of fun. That was doing the Chuck Norris League. I really love the concept of the team fighting because that thing that is already set up around the world, whether it be football, basketball, you know, soccer. Well, you guys call it football, but there's always teams and states and or cities and countries versus each other. So I really like the concept of the World Combat League. I like the fact that it was in like a bowl, so therefore there was no obstructed view. You know, so if the ring, you get the ropes in the way, or the cage, you know, you got the cage in the way and stuff like that. But this was just unobstructed, and it was like high octane fighting, which was a whole lot of fun. So I had a really good time doing that. It got a chance to really show everybody kind of like what type of skill set I was able to bring and what type of skill set is available. Because I think when people do like MMA or when we do Muay Thai and stuff, we only use the very basic skill set. You know, you use there are the basic tools that you have to have. It's just like a building. If you don't have a good foundation, then your building's just going to collapse. But you can create skyscrapers and you can create all types of different types of buildings if you actually have a great foundation. And so WCL was just a great vehicle for me to broadcast to the world, kind of like how good and how great or how big you could build these buildings and what the sport and what martial arts is actually capable of. So and a lot of people in the MMA and kickboxing world kind of don't understand it all, but it's a whole lot of fun to me.
Yeah, I mean, you were unbeaten. No one ever beat you. No one ever beat you in that environment, did they?
Yeah. Well, that environment is more of an environment that I had a lot more experience in than everybody, and it's really hard for anybody that is any type of full contact, whether it be kickboxing or whether it be MMA. Even when I fight the best of the best in MMA currently to this day, because of how many fights I've had from my martial arts experience competing in martial arts tournaments here, over in the UK and Australia. I've competed literally all over the world. So it's hard to take into number the amount of, say, sparring matches that I've had. You know, like people, when they say they have a record, it's like 100 and this, but I've had thousands upon thousands of actually tournament fighting experiences in just a weekend. So I take those experiences and I take them into my full contact realm. Thus, I was undefeated in that because that particular fight definitely favored me because it was high octane, it was fast, and I had the ability to adapt to people's styles really fast. Most people had never seen my style before or haven't seen my style before. So to adapt to it in a 3-minute period is extremely complicated if you haven't ever experienced a person that moves with the speed and the techniques that I do. So that fighting style was like catered to a fighter like of my style because I was able to go out and just give everybody a plethora, a buffet of martial arts excitement in a short period of time, and then there was a break, and then you were able to come out and give them that buffet again. So so to me, it was my favorite style of fighting because that's really what fans want to see. Like if you really notice, like when you watch a fight, like the first instance of a fight is when the fighters are like high energy. That's when the knockouts happen, when the fighters are fresh and they're ready to go. It's when the fighters start to kind of like gas out and stuff. It starts to kind of lose its entertainment value. The casual fan, like that doesn't really understand, you know, what the person did in order to get that other person tired, will kind of, you know, either bore away from it or they don't understand. It's because their lack of maybe understanding of it. But yeah, I really like that because it was just high octane and it was go.
So your style of fighting. I mean, you're in probably more highlight reels and viral videos than any martial arts person I've ever known. It's like anything that says KO 28, 20, whatever, is going to have something from you on there. Do you class yourself as a bit of a showman, or is that just your style, just who you are?
It's a combination, to be honest. It's an awesome question. It's actually a combination of it all. Like I do what I do because I love what I do, and I think that if you're going to do something in life, you might as well make it your passion. And then if you can make it your passion, you can achieve and do all types of things. So when most people are out there fighting me and they're out there trying to compete against me and they're trying to beat me, I'm actually out there just having fun. I'm just doing what I love to do. I'm actually getting the opportunity to display my art and my skill set to the world. So like they're fighting and they're trying to beat me, but I'm not trying to beat them. I'm trying to make a highlight. I'm trying to show my beauty. I'm trying to paint like a masterpiece that's gonna kind of like live forever. That's one thing I kind of pride myself in, because not everybody has the courage to go out there and to do those things. You see, sometimes, a lot of times, if somebody throws a spin kick or some type of move that puts them in a really bad position, and a lot of times that's if you haven't mastered your craft enough. Right? I'm still working on mastering my craft. You know, I'm still working on getting better at it, even to this day. They haven't put enough time and energy into their crafts. Therefore, when they come out and they try and do it, it's hard for them to perform it. Because they haven't practiced it enough. So for me, I enjoy going out there as part of the show. I think it's entertaining for the audience, like as a fan. And like, I remember me watching fights, like I love to see a fight. Either guys like are banging it out like boom, boom, boom. But I love movies. Who doesn't love movies? Who hasn't seen like the Ninja Turtles or the Power Rangers, or, you know, who hasn't seen the movie where like every action hero is doing martial arts? And they're not just, you know, don't get me wrong, the basics are there, but it's the flashy stuff that catches everybody. Like, oh man, did you see what he did in the Matrix? Man, that was bad. Blah 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 blah. So you know what I mean? Look at Jason Statham. He's done. You see him when they're not talking about the right cross he hit him with. They're talking about like that cool spin thing that he did, or whatever the case is. So so I like to go out and do the things that people see like on TV. I like to do it in real life. And people are just like, you know, they're like, oh, you know, this and that. And they kind of started giving me the name, kind of like the highlight reel. And I kind of just ran with it. I was like, hey, all right, sure, I'll go with it. And but for me, it's kind of just, again, displaying the beauty of the art. And I think for me, that's important for people to see, you know, what you can actually do if you apply yourself. And for me, a lot of people are angry about fighting, or fighting for this or fighting for that. I love the fight because I want to see just how great you can be if you really apply yourself to something. You know what I mean? If I really truly apply myself in life, and to fighting, to competing, to the martial arts, how good can it get? How great can it be? You know, so I'm excited. I'm still on that journey right now, and you know, going from there.
Yeah, I mean, like the last, obviously the fight you had in May on Bellator, I mean that finish was just. I don't think anyone's ever finished anyone like that in the world of combat sports before. Was that you doing like a spinning fake, seeing what he did, and then just let that right hand go?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a whole load of different highlight reel techniques that I want to do, and that I practice, and that I go through in my mind, that I go through during training. So for most people, they're like, oh my gosh, he's never done that. That was just a spur of the moment. But if you're my training partner, you've actually seen me throw that type of stuff consistently, like daily. Every time we work out, I'm doing stuff. In fact, during that week of camp, I'm doing, you know, just getting my body dialed in. I didn't really have to do any type of like weight cut or anything, but just going through some basic workouts and stuff. And I'm with my fiance Colby. I'm with my Muay Thai coach Tyler Wambos, with my jiu-jitsu coach Joe Murphy and stuff. And we're working out. I'm doing some pad work, working. And then like towards the end of the round, I would jump up, spin around, and throw a kick or throw the punch. And so my fiance tells me after the fight, like, you know, while you were training all week, you kept doing this 720 kick and 720 stuff. And she was like, I was going to tell you, like, why don't you stop doing that? You know you're not going to do that when you fight. Like, you're not going to do it. So why play around with that? Why practice that? And then I come out and then I get the finish like that. And we're back in the room and she's like, you know, and then she tells me this story and she's like, I am so glad I didn't say anything to you. She was like, because you would have never let me live that down. You'd have been. It's like, you know, it's the one time I actually get to be right on something, or I'm like, see, yeah, don't doubt me, baby, you know. But Yeah, that was I mean, that was a memorable experience. I don't think it was one of my best. I mean, it was one of my top ones, but I don't think it was my best one that I've had. It was kind of like the one that was a bigger stage. You know, obviously I have a great following over in the UK area and stuff like that. So I think it was kind of like I was on the Bellator UK, but it was kind of heard around the world, you know. So I was really excited, and you know, to be able to go out and to be able to again perform and to put something like that on display for everybody to see, and just you know, I've been doing that type of stuff for a while, but it's kind of new to everybody because sometimes some people didn't know me or who I am or whatever. So. But yeah, no, trying. I mean, I've got a whole lot more in the bag. I actually got a little book right here that I could show you all the different ones I want to do before it's all said and done.
I mean, you say you've got a relationship with the UK. You've been coming over for the Irish Open like forever, haven't you? And you've won it literally every time you've come over. I think there's only been a couple of years that you've not been over, hasn't there?
Yeah. That's like I've been over there. I mean, year upon year. Now I go over there to do like seminars and stuff to the Irish Open. Roy Baker's a really good friend of mine. But yeah, I've been going over there and competing, doing seminars and things like that for decades. It's been and the UK was one of my first international trips and stuff. I actually went over there to um, Curtis Page flew me over there a while back. Curtis, that's when I first met like Kaylin and Mike, and got a chance to kind of get to know those guys a little bit. I had a tournament over there and stuff like that as well. Um, but yeah, no, I've been coming over there for many years, and I really like it. It's kind of like that home away from home over there. I've got some really good friends. Got one of my good friends, Elijah Everill. He's over there as well in the UK. He is a beast, a young man coming up. If you guys don't know Elijah, you might want to check him out on IG.
Well, there was someone just commenting then about you being an example and a role model, and I think it's like it's really clear for all those athletes, juniors, adults training kickboxing, karate, mat sports around the world. You're like the number one, the Uber. You know, where else is it to look other than you? You're blazing that trail, and you've been so dominant for so long that you know some people might obviously look at one aspect of your martial arts and go, oh, he's not done that much. But, you know, for those people in the know who've seen your background from being young all the way through, you've been in it a long time.
Yeah, I have been. I mean, that's the one thing about me is like with it, I've been doing it for when I first started doing it and I was doing the style, people are like, well, longevity, how long will it last? As you know, if you know me, followed me before, you kind of know that I've been doing it for quite some time. And I've never been afraid to walk the path that people haven't, because I wanted to set a path that show people that come from where I come from the karate, from the taekwondo, from the sport karate, people that fight at maybe at the Irish Open or any part of the world, that if they use this tool set, they can accomplish great things. That you can go into kickboxing, you can go into MMA, and you can be successful, and you can dominate a sport. So I've never been afraid to kind of walk the path less traveled, so to speak. You know, to set a trail for everybody else, for future generations, and that's my main thing, whether it be in sport karate, whether it be in kickboxing or in MMA, is to leave you know, a legacy behind where people can aspire to be. My goal is always, I'm a martial artist first, you know. I mean, I was blessed with the ability to be able to go out and to perform and to be able to do these things, but you know, people see me and they don't know me as a person, so they're like, oh man, he's flashy, he's arrogant, he's a little bit cocky. But I mean, you got to believe in yourself. If you're going out there and you're fighting, you're putting your life on the line, and if you don't believe in you, who's gonna believe in you? You know, so first and foremost, the belief has to come in to yourself. But I also believe in you know, just being a martial artist. And I mean, you never see me like calling people out or cursing people out and stuff like that. People, oh, I want to fight this guy, blah, blah. But it's like, yeah, I understand. It's supposed to be, you know, something that they're trying to sell. They're trying to sell a show, a fight. But I believe in doing it with my skill set, that anybody that ever comes to see me fight, I don't have to necessarily say anything. My actions, the way I fight, my performance will not be boring. It will be entertaining. It will keep you on the edge of your seat. So I like to display my talking through my skill set. if you have that much time to talk, you probably should be training a little bit more. You know, that's kind of how I look at it. So I always try and make sure I set an example. I have my own martial arts studio, where I try to set an example for future generations and stuff like that, where, you know, I don't want to be the one seen as disrespecting my opponent. My opponent signed up to fight just like I did. So even my last opponent, I hit him with a crazy move, but that is in a controlled environment. I'm not taking my skill set outside of my art form and, you know, going and fight people on the street or bullying people or just getting in the fights just because I know that I can fight. You know, so I do it in a place. There's a time and a place for everything, and that's where I like to do it, and where I like to paint my masterpiece. That's my canvas, literally a canvas, and I like to paint masterpieces on it, and that's how I like to perform. And I like to do it in a way that is not necessarily, you know, I mean, I guess I could talk a little bit more stuff, and I probably would get a little bit notoriety if I was a little more like disrespectful and I cursed and this and that. You know, at my opponents, but that's just not my style. It's not who I want to portray to the world, and it's not what I want future generations looking to be.
So, I mean, you brought it well round. So you've got your own studio, and that, obviously one of the things that I've noticed is you're one of the only really world level fighters who's quite active in teaching kids at the gym that they're based at. You seem to really enjoy coaching children.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that's where it's at, man. Children are our future. There's a song about it if you ain't heard. But it's man, I love giving back. And I mean, that's where it all started. I mean, I'm very fortunate and blessed to have the things that I have and to grow to the level that I have. But it all started, and I gained the skill set and a better understanding from teaching people. You know, when I used to compete and I fought and I started doing really well. And I remember the first person to ask me, like, this guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, I want you to teach my son." And I'm thinking to myself, like, well, what do I teach him? You know, I was probably like 17 at the time. I'm like, well, what do I show him? Like, I don't know. Well, like, it's the first time somebody asked me, like, you know, to teach him, kind of like, you know, like it wasn't somebody from like my school that was learning my curriculum. He's like, no, I don't want your curriculum. I want to learn what you're doing. And I'm like, well, what do I teach this guy? So teaching also helped me grow, because it made me actually sit back and think and be able to articulate what it is that I'm actually doing. So I had to be able to teach to the youngest kid or to the oldest adult how to interpret and how to do what it is that I do. So I enjoy giving back. And I mean, yes, I own a school. I travel. I'm very fortunate and blessed to get to travel the world. I'll be over in the UK. I'm headed to Australia right before that. So I'm very blessed and fortunate. I get to travel the world and I get to see the world because I love traveling. It's like my hobby. But I get to also get to share my passion, you know. So I get to share my kind of like my passion with the world. And I would honestly teach for free because I love it so much. I love to go out and to just help people, and martial arts really, like, I grew up from like a different environment. You know, grew up and so martial arts is kind of like that been my saving grace for when I was growing up as a young man. You know, I had a lot of family members and people, you know, out getting you know, in trouble, just not having anything productive to do. And I understand that martial arts is can be that tool. It doesn't have to necessarily be martial arts. But it can be one of those tools that kind of can save you from troubles in life and kind of hold you on a good path. So, yeah, martial arts has been amazing. I love giving back to kids, and if I can inspire that one kid or thousands of kids in order to you know, walk the right path, or if it inspires to keep them out of trouble or to make themselves better in some way, shape, or form, then I consider my whole career a success. So. The titles that I win and stuff like that, those are great. The highlight reels that I make, they're memorable. It's like, oh man, look at that knockout he had on YouTube. Look at that, this he had. But for me, at the end of the day, the highlights for me are you know, working with people, working with kids, seeing them smile, and encouraging them to do better. So that's where my real passion is, and I just happen to get to do this on a national stage. And for me, I honestly look at every time I fight is really just a commercial for me to try and let somebody else know about me, so maybe I can inspire them because they come far, they're in a dark place or whatever the case is, and you know, kind of be that little ray of light that helps them through. I know it sounds kind of cliche or whatever the case is, but that's why I like to fight. That's why I do what I do. That's why I love what I do so much. And that's why people, when I'm out there, they're like, what is he doing? I'm actually just partying. Like it's a party for me. So I'm out there and I'm partying, and that's what people are like, man, nobody does like it. Well, maybe it's sometimes people are fighting. If everybody has their reasons, I'm not saying that any of their reasons are invalid or by any means, but my reason is maybe different than theirs, and that's why it looks like I'm having a great time while I'm out there fighting.
Well, I've just seen a comment down here, and it was someone saying, with all the fights you've had, do you feel nervous before a fight, or do you not feel nervous anymore?
Oh man, now you're always nervous. I've had people tell me that they're not nervous before. Maybe they're different, because I've obviously you only know what you know. Is that so? But from my experience, the nerves have settled. Like, I used to get so nervous before I fought, I would actually throw up. My teammates know about it, my friends. I just look at her anytime I was about to go on stage, and then I would usually go out and perform really, really well. I always get nervous. I always get butterflies, and I think some people think like that if you get nervous, it means that you're not going to do well. But at the end of the day, nerves just show that you're human. It's a natural thing, and nerves are, for me, the fact that I still get nervous means I'm moving forward. Why do you think I went and just did my last fight as an MMA fight? Oh yeah, I was super nervous. I could have kind of rode off into the sunset as this kickboxing champion and kind of never entered that realm. I did it once and it didn't really work out so well for me, so I could have shied away from it. If you've known me and been close with me over the years, you know that MMA is something that I was going to do again. It's just time and place, and it had to be the right time for me to do it. But oh yeah, I was nervous as heck during any of my fights. But those nerves and that feeling, that uncomfortableness that you feel, for me, I thrive in that. I like to get comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes any sense at all. Because the more I try to make myself uncomfortable every day. If I can do something that makes me uncomfortable every day, that means I'm growing. You don't grow in your comfort zone when you only do things that kind of like, oh yeah, I don't want to do that because of this or that. It could be talking to somebody, introducing yourself to a new friend, introducing yourself to somebody that's going to be your mate for life. If you don't have the discomfort and the courage to walk up to somebody and to speak to them, or to walk up and to do something that pushes you, then you're not going to necessarily grow as a person. So for me, it's really important to make sure that I'm doing things that make me uncomfortable. Thus getting married, I'm really nervous about it too. That's not even fighting. I'm just in there. I got bubbles in my stomach. I'm a little bit nervous about that as well. But again, it's growth as a person, and in order for you to grow as a person, you have to get nervous.
What made you want to become a fighter?
You know what? When I was younger, I'll be honest, I was the little kid that cried in the gym, in the karate school. I was the little kid that when we got hit and cried. I just didn't like to hit people or hurt people. It wasn't like my thing, and it wasn't more for like them hitting me while I was crying or anything. I didn't like to beat people up. I was just like, it feels so mean. And then as I got a little bit older, people started telling me like, oh man, you're pretty good at this, And then I had this guy, John Ramsey. He's just like, oh man, you're really good. And he was one of the guys that asked me to teach his kid, and I was teaching on my little karate team when I was a little teenager. And he's like, I'm gonna start taking you traveling. And then I kind of started traveling a little bit with it, and started kind of traveling the world, and people started telling me, man, you're really good at fighting. So I kind of started believing them. I'm like, okay, well, let me see how good I can kind of get. And then I started traveling and seeing the world, and my skill set kind of started to blossom. So I just had a really good support group that kind of helped me, when I was out traveling. Jack Felton helped me out when I was on the tournament circuit and helped me get to these places. So I just started doing it and competing, and I just started really enjoying it. And that's how I kind of got started doing it. My father, it was a prerequisite for when I was his son. So I had to do it. But I just started doing it, and people started just telling me I'm really good at it. I'm like, okay, well, let's see how good I can be, and let's see how far I can travel with this. So as you see now, I'm fighting and traveling all over the world, and so it's a whole lot of fun.
So growing up on Long Beach, though, was martial arts the only sport that you're ever into, or was there other sports at that point?
Oh no. I've always done other sports. I've done football, basketball, done soccer, done track, done cross country. I've always kind of like I've done a plethora of it all, but martial arts has always been a foundation. Like the other sports are great, like football, whether it be soccer. But I didn't play soccer, but I played like American football. And I played American basketball, so I've always played those sports, and they always taught me a good skill set. Like I had a good jumper, or I was really fast, or you know, or whatever the case is that particular sport teaches. Martial arts taught me more of like life skills, taught me a way of life, how to be as a person, how to wake up each and every day and better myself. The other sports didn't necessarily teach me that, so martial arts was always a part of my life. Those other sports were seasonal. I did it during this season or during that season, kind of almost like a passing time. I actually stopped playing basketball a little while ago. I actually ruptured my Achilles tendon playing basketball. A lot of people don't know about that. I think that was like 2012. I ruptured my Achilles. So as fast as everybody see me, highly see me jump, I don't feel I'm about 80% of my speed and my athleticism now for after that. But I've always loved basketball. Is one of my favorite sports. I enjoy playing pastime just because it's that one sport that you can kind of get better at, and you don't need anybody else to help you with it, to show your improvement and stuff. So and that's why I enjoy playing that. I played I was a police officer actually in Long Beach. I actually grew up in like San Fernando, Pacoima, and Low Valley area. Then I moved out to like the Long Beach area as I got a little older, and then as I became a police officer out there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I
Oh,
this,
there's my barber Rod right there. What's up, Rod? And you see that tight fade right there? I had to go see my barber over at Exclusive Pro, Blazing Fades, Santa Ana, California. If you're in the area, go check out my man Rod.
you say you were a police officer. Was it for 7 years you were a police officer?
Yeah, I did that. I did that for about 7 years in the city of Long Beach, man. It was a really good it's a good opportunity. I was a young man. I was about 20 years old. I mean, everybody when you're a kid, you play cops and robbers. You know what I mean? I grew up in a little bit of a rougher area, so to speak, where we were constantly having the police kind of around. I'm not saying they were picking on us or by anything like that, but with just a constant interaction with the police, and so I had set a goal to kind of to be on the other side of the fence, to be able to see what it is that they do, and why things were happening in certain ways, and to be able to help people. I thought that being a police officer was going to be able to allow me to kind of like give back and kind of like help other people and stuff like that. And I was able to do. I met some really great people, some really great friends and stuff like that. But then I found you're a first responder. You're responding to incidents. You don't really get a chance to really talk to people like I thought you would be able to be able to help people in the way that I thought you would be able to. You deal with a situation, and then that's it. You don't really get to invest any of your time, your energy, or yourself into anyone in particular, because you're dealing with a bunch of different issues. So I wanted to be on the other side of the fence and kind of be and view it from a different perspective than how I had how I viewed the police growing up as a young man. So I went and I did that. I was 20. I did that for about 8 years, met some great lifelong friends. But honestly, it wasn't my passion. It wasn't my calling in life. I wasn't waking up every day like, oh man, I can't wait to go to work. It was kind of like, oh, it was something I did. You know what I mean? But martial arts is what, I left all that behind just to pursue martial arts as a professional fighter, to pursue it as a business owner, for my evolution fighting system, for it all. So I left that behind, but it was a great time in life, and I have no regrets of doing it. And like I said, I wasn't able to really touch as many lives. Now as a martial arts instructor, I'm able to make sure that kids don't end up in the back seat of a police car. You know what I mean? So I'm able to influence them before before that ever occurs. You know, I would get to spend like a couple minutes, maybe say with a kid or with some adult that was maybe troubled in life. And I'd be like, all right, you know, this is what you need to do in order to fix it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then, you know, in one ear, out the other ear, and I'd see him next week doing the same thing. You know, so as an instructor, like you said, I like working with kids. Is I make sure that they don't ever have to go down that path or ever have to have those interactions and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I guess police officer is a bit more about kind of punishment in some extent. It's like, well, you're already at that end of the spectrum, whereas, like you said, you're influencing those now to never get that far along the process anyway.
Yeah, and then that's how sometimes people view it. They feel like, oh, the police come when you're kind of like in trouble. You know, they're obviously doing their job. They're policing. They're called out there to handle like a situation. You know, firefighters don't have as bad of a rap like as policemen, right? When they have a similar type job, you know, they're responding to a situation. They just respond to fires. The police officers respond to situations with people where they're sometimes violent or whatever the case is. So people usually interpret that and combine it with, I'm in trouble if the police are around or there's some type of trouble.
So I'm seeing a lot of comments. Have you got any advice from a turning back kick? Have you got any advice from a bringing up kick?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you could give some quick tips now, and if you've got them, give it. But you've got, is it a site? You've got your own training program online now?
Yeah. I got my own training program. It's called Evolution Fighting System. It's actually, the site is under some construction right now. We're adding some more things to it right this second. But if you can go to RaymondDaniels.com or evolutionfightingsystem.com. But I have my own fighting system. And the reason why I developed this is because, like I'm traveling. I'll be over in Australia. I'll be over in the UK. I travel around the world, and I work with people, and I teach them, and I work with them to develop, you know, their spin kicks and stuff like that. But I wanted to develop a system that, you know, they can use it in the comfort of their own home in their hand. They can use it for instructors to help teaching, to learn these different tool sets of things that I do in order to be able to kind of be more of the current age we live in. You have to be mobile. You have to be involved with the internet and be more accessible. There's only a certain amount of time in the day that I can travel and I can teach seminars. Like you say, I'm over in the UK and you got the last one, which is on the first day, but literally every day I pretty much have a seminar. We were trying to book something even towards the tail end of my seminar tour, but there's only so many hours in a day. So that's why I created this online system for anybody that's kind of like trying to like improve their skill set or their ability. My fighting system is like it's like the blueprint to the style of fighting that I do. Right now I have my sport karate series out. I'm in the final stages of my pro series, where it's for like kickboxing, for MMA. I've had the great pleasure of working with some great martial artists and competitors like Roy McDonald, current Bellator champ. I've worked with Tyron Woodley, former welterweight champ UFC. I worked with GSP. So I've had the great fortune and pleasure working with great guys like that consistently and showing them like my fighting system. And I've seen great benefits. A guy that I just worked with recently, I don't know if you guys saw his last fight, Ryan Hall.
Ryan Hall,
yeah. He fought, Ryan Hall. His jiu-jitsu is amazing. Choking me all out, bending me all kind of shapes and forms when he was out here like a pretzel. But his last MMA fight, everybody was so impressed with his stand-up. And he was hitting people with spinning kicks and bam, bam. People were like, oh man, where'd he come out with that? He came out and trained. I showed him kind of my evolution fighting system, showed him some different things. And he's out there performing those spin kicks. So there's a lot of different ways that people always ask about spin kicks, whether you're doing offensively or you're doing it kind of like defensively. There's a whole lot of different things. And if you come to the UK tour, and starting on Thursday at your school, you can find out how. See, I got you. Don't even worry about it. Just got like 10 months time.
Yeah, Manchester on the 12th is the place to be. So
can't share the secrets now.
If you had 2 minutes now to say something, because I'm seeing loads of it. What would you say about how can you get a better turning back kick?
everybody only practices the traditional way to do their turning back kick. I mean, one, practice your back kick on both sides. By developing it on both sides, it will help. If you see most of my fights, I can spin one way or the other. I can throw spin back to right or to the left, spin hook right or left. Practicing it on both sides of your body. I don't believe in a strong and a weak side. I believe in a strong side and a dominant side. You're stronger than everybody on this side, and you dominate everybody on the other side. So either way, you're good. So practicing on both sides of your body is really important. Practice it at different ranges. Most people only try and throw their spin kick offensively, meaning they can only do it as if they're traveling forward. Learn to do it while creating space. So learn to do it at different ranges. Learn to do it stationary. Learn to do it moving forward. Also learn to do it moving backwards. So I can do my spin kicks whether I'm attacking the person. I can do my spin kick whether I'm in the pocket with the person throwing punches, because a spin kick, the reason why I like to throw the spin kick so much is the spin kick is the bazooka or the grenade or the rocket of moves. I don't care what you say. It is the hardest, strongest, most powerful technique that you can throw in all of martial arts. All. I mean, you can say a jab, a cross, a leg kick, a front kick. None of them are as strong as a spin kick. So to be able to throw that from distance, from close range, and from medium range, from all three different ranges, makes you have that thing that can just in a fight in an instant, available at all times. So practice it from different ranges and practice it on both sides. A lot of people only like to practice on their good side because they feel silly when they do it, on the side that they're not dominant on. But then keep practicing it until you don't feel silly, and eventually you'll feel comfortable. So repetition is the master of success. Practice that to 3 different ranges. And again, if you have the seminar, we'll go over all those different ranges of how to throw this spin kick, how to either create space, how to close space. There's even ways to do it with creating angles. That's kind of like the 4th stage to it. So I usually teach offense, defense, stationary, and then I teach it to how to create angles with your spin kicks as well. So there's ways to create angles while you're doing the spin kicks.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, I'm really looking forward to the seminar. To be honest, it's like I don't know anyone who would do a seminar on the stuff that I'm sure you're going to do. So I think anyone who attends is in for a treat.
Yeah, it's definitely unconventional, but it's very, very simple, very basic, but it can kind of change. It can kind of change the game and the dynamic of your fighting, because now you have this weapon or this tool that everyone has to respect, because no one can just walk through it. It doesn't matter which fight I've ever fought. I guarantee they've seen my spin kicks, and I like to throw them. Sometimes I throw them and I know that they're not going to land, but I want you to think, if that would have hit me, that could have been, that had a lot of bad intentions on it. So therefore, having that in your tool set that you can pull out at any time, it makes every fighter nervous. I have fighters that are great fighters, but they always have to show some resistance, because I'm not some people are very, just naturally heavy-handed, or they just kick really hard, they punch really hard. I wouldn't say like I punch the hardest or hit the hardest or anything like that, but my spin kick generates more power than any technique that anybody. I would be willing to put my spin kick against anybody's power shot.
So what? Obviously, looking at the scene today, who are the fighters that you rate? Do you have any favourite fighters that you like to watch? Obviously, apart from you, of course, but who's the people that you like to watch at the moment?
Well, let's see. There's a lot of fighters that are out there, and it depends if we're going like sport karate stuff, or if we're going into like the kickboxing MMA world. But there's a lot of great fighters that I like to watch fighting. Let's see. We'll start off with there was some fights this weekend. There was actually some awesome fights this weekend. John Jones is actually, to be honest, one of my favorite fighters. He's got a really good style, good skill set. I love his creativity. Stephen Thompson. I'm a huge Stephen Thompson fan. Your guys is homegrown Mike Page. Mike is my man. I'm a huge supporter of Mike. I love his style. He comes from sport karate background. Again, there's another guy over there, Elijah Everill. He's a young guy. He's doing sport karate right now. But he'll be making his debut soon enough, or when he gets the opportunity onto the full contact scene. He's got a great, there's a whole plethora of fighters over in the UK that I really enjoy. There's this young guy coming up over here, Bailey. He's a really awesome young martial artist that's coming up. I'm a huge fan of his. I like to see him do his thing. I've got my teammates on the All Stars, Robbie and Jack Velton. But as far as big name fighters, GSP is one of my favorite all time training partners. I've gotten the great fortune and pleasure to actually have him as a training partner, to use him consistently in training camps. As my main sparring partner, I was just like, man, I felt great going into that fight. I'm like, man, who else gets to use GSP as their primary sparring partner for an entire camp? I was just like, this was before he came back for his fight with Bisbing and stuff. He was doing some stand-up stuff with me, and I was working with him, helping him out with his stand-up and stuff as well. But yeah, he's amazing. There's this guy over here, Juan Archuleta. A lot of people don't know about Juan. Juan is an awesome fighter as well. So I've got a few people that Juan is about to be fighting for the Bellator title. So I'm looking forward to seeing him do his thing. But there's a lot of fighters that I really enjoy. Anybody that's creative. Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall is awesome. I love his style. He's explosive. Yair Rodriguez. It's awesome. I actually really like Khabib's style. He's up in there, and he's gonna wrestle you and throw you around. So there's a whole lot of different fighters that I like, that are our top tier fighters that I'm like, okay, maybe they have a different style than I do, but I can see their work ethic in what it is that they do, that they're very passionate about what they do, that they put in the time to be an outlier. Somebody that has done their craft so much that their skill set is looked upon differently to the normal eye. They're doing the same things that normal people try to do, but it's something different about the way that they do them. That means that the person has done their repetitions. They've done more repetitions than anybody else in the world. So it's going to be hard for people to catch up to that. So I look for fighters that stand out to me are outliers, people that have a particular skill set, that are able to push the envelope of what people say. They're doing basic normal things, but they're doing them in a way that nobody else has done them. So those are my favorite type of fighters to watch. My goal is to be the greatest of all time, putting God over all things. And so I would like to fight anybody that believes that their stand-up skill or ability is the most elite. If they feel that they're the most elite striker in the world, I would love to. And it could be boxing, it could be Canelo, it could be Conor, it could be any of those guys. Anybody that believes that they're striking, I would love to spar with some of those guys. Not necessarily like fighting them, obviously. Some of them, there's different weight classes and different things like that. Like I've actually sparred with some guys that are lighter weight classes but are amazing, like TJ Dillashaw, Cub Swanson. They're smaller guys, and I spar with them, but their speed and their technique is awesome. So not necessarily a calling anybody out or anything like that. A guy that I would love to fight again, because I got cut the last time we were fighting, and Nicky Holskin. Got a ton of respect for the guy. He's an amazing guy, fighter, champion. Saw his last fight. I kind of thought he got a little bit robbed but hey, life goes on. But I would love to get another opportunity to just kind of show how much I've grown since I fought him. From coming into Glory to me getting up to the title, to winning the rounds and then getting my eyes split and then losing the title. There's some fighters that I owe fights to. I owe a fight to Kareem Gaji because I know I split his eye open. I lost my world title in Glory to Nicky from an eye split. I split his forehead open, so that's how he ended up losing his title. So I feel like I kind of owe him another fight. So there's some fighters out there that I will love. There's Bazooka Joe Valtellini. He's no longer fighting anymore right now, but he's a guy that got by me. There's only been a couple guys to ever get by me. So that's always, I gotta, it's always something that kind of gets you in here. Like, I gotta get that one back. I gotta, But I have a ton of respect. He's not fighting anymore, so he's teaching. He has some amazing videos on YouTube and stuff that I actually watch to this day. So I would love to have the opportunity actually, since he doesn't fight anymore, next best thing is go train with that person. So I would love to go and train with him and pick his brain and get some of the techniques and leg kicks that he beat me with that one fight. But yeah, those are kind of a few guys. Everybody always wants to see me fight my man Mike Page, just because he has a similar kind of like sport karate style. Like Mike and I, we have a pretty good understanding with each other. We're good friends and stuff like that too. Like when I come out to the UK, I'll be kicking it with him, or he'll come say what's up if he's in town, if he's here in the States. But it's like a lot of people want to see us fight because we're both kind of like flashy. We got that like highlight reel kind of stuff. But there's a lot of people out there for Mike to fight, for me to fight, where we can display our skill sets. We both have a similar goal. Mike is younger than I am, so he kind of gets a style a little bit from kind of like my style. He takes it to a different, he goes on a different path, and he's his own person by all means. But I have no aspirations to fight Mike. A lot of people are like, oh, we want to see guys fight. I'm like, I don't think it'd be as good as everybody thinks, for the simple fact that we both understand each other's strengths so well, and we fought each other so much doing sport karate coming up through the years and stuff as well. So I think I don't think it'll be as interesting of a fight as most people think it would be, because everybody wants to see us do what we do best. What is that? Highlight reel type stuff. But if somebody understands what you're doing, it's hard to do those highlight moves because you're understood. So, there's my main man, Danny Ace, right there. He's been hooking me up, been getting me right in shape for my wedding, picking me some amazing meals. But there's not really necessarily anybody I would like to call out or anything like that. But anybody that feels that they're the best at stand-up fighting, I would love to spar Israel. I decided to style bender. Oh my gosh, I'm a huge. I don't believe I didn't bring his name up. He's actually one of the most impressive fighters right now out to me. He's just the way he moves, his technique is. Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan. Like I was a fan. I found him a little bit before he kind of blew up in the UFC with his stuff. There's my man Bailey right there. That young man Bailey Murphy right there. You guys want to check him out. He's I call him a young goat. Got a great style, great skill set. He just tuned in right there. Make sure you guys check him out. But yeah, Israel, as I was saying, is an amazing fighter. I would love an opportunity to spar with him. Just go some rounds. I don't ever mean any disrespect when I say I want to spar with somebody. A lot of people think like, oh, you want to fight me? Like, no, I don't want to fight you. I want to spar with you. I want to test your metal with my metal. I want to see how our styles, how they go against you. You're air, I'm fire. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? So I would love to get a rematch with Stephen Thompson. Stephen and I were supposed to fight in WCL a while back, and I don't consider it a fight. It was technically a loss on his record. I don't consider it a loss for him. He was still undefeated. Both of us were undefeated at the time in WCL, and came and crossed paths. And I was so excited for that fight. And literally in the first 15, 20 seconds of the fight, he blew out his knee. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, I felt so bad for him because, I mean, injuries. There's my main man, Gumby, right there. What's up, Gumbos? From Hungary. He blew out his knee. And so I would love to, it doesn't have to necessarily be a fight with him or anything like that, but I would just love to spar with him just to move around, because he's a guy that does a skill set like I do. So I would love to see how my skill set holds up against his skill set. And kind of go from there. Anthony Pettis, who just fought this weekend, he messed his foot up really bad. But I would love to spar against him as well. Duke Rufus produces some really great guys. I would pretty much love to spar against any of his guys that he produces.
So, going forward then, you said before you've got a fight that you can't really talk about. What's the future looking like for you then? Are there any fights coming up that you can tell about, or when will you be announcing them?
Yeah, I'll be announcing most likely probably after I get back from the UK tour. I'll be announcing like when my next fight is, to be honest. I'm kind of working out the details. That was my last fight was the last fight of my contract, the last fight that I had in May. That was the last fight of my contract. So kind of just working out, you know how that goes, kind of working out the details, you know what I mean, of everything. And as soon as all the details kind of get worked out with my management team and with Bellator and stuff, we'll be good to go, and I'll be more than happy to let everybody know. But like I said, can't say anything, but it most likely might be coming to a theater near you guys uh, coming up in the latter part of the year. A lot of people ask if I'm going to do MMA again. Am I going to do kickboxing again? I'm open. You know what I mean? For me, fighting is fighting, and it's different to do MMA. I'm not gonna lie, it's a whole different. The training camp was totally different. I didn't have to do a weight cut this last fight at all. Zero, because I had to incorporate the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, and it is such a grind doing the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu that all of my weight literally just shut up. I didn't have to do sauna. I didn't have to do anything. I had to do no heat, no dehydrate, nothing. I literally walked in on my weight. It was actually an amazing feeling. But will it be kickboxing? Will it be MMA? I'm honestly open to doing to either or both. Hey, I'll be the first one to doing both in one night. I'll do a kickboxing and an MMA fight, and doing both in one night. Now, I'm open to whether it be defending my Bellator kickboxing title, or getting some more experience in the MMA. A lot of people have been trying to call me out in the MMA, and just be patient. Don't worry, I'll be there, and I'll be coming for the cream of the crop soon enough. There's some amazing fights. The tournament is ending. The Bellator tournament. Got my man Rory against Douglas Lima. Rory's a great fan. I'm a huge fan. He's actually one of my favorite fighters. Rory. I think he's an awesome fighter as well. But I don't think that the welterweight division could be any more hot. I mean, you saw the tournament that they just went through. If you didn't, with Bellator, and I think it's one of the best divisions in the sport, because you got the speed and you got the knockouts. Because the lightweights have the speed and the cardio, the heavyweights have the knockout power. But the welterweights, the middleweight and welterweight division, they have the speed and the knockout power. So it kind of gives the fans the best of everything. So yeah, whether it be kickboxing or MMA, most likely. I know a lot of people want to see me do MMA, especially after my last fight. So I'm open to doing that, but I'm open to defending my title.
So apart from fights, then, is there anything else on the rise? Obviously, apart from your upcoming nuptials this week, is there any projects in the line?
I mean, I got that coming up. Working on my pro series is my next thing that I'm looking to do for my fighting system. Just because the one I have out right now is more of my sport karate system for all my sport karate people, because that's where I kind of developed first. That's where I came from. So I'm looking to do my pro series and then my instructor series as well. So my pro series is going to be for kickboxing clubs, for Muay Thai. So how to be able to, how to bridge the gap, how to use the techniques that I use that are a little unconventional, not necessarily that is seen or learned every day. And then the instructor series is how for instructors to be able to relate it to their students, to be able to teach it in a class setting, and to be able to make I think sometimes people lose the concept of it, and they think the violence of the martial arts, and it's scary, but how to make martial arts fun. You know what I mean? So that's what my whole system is teaching your skill set and being creative and having a good time while you're doing it.
Great. Well, I want to thank you so much for spending this time speaking to us all. I hope you've got a pleasant day planned. What have you got planned for the rest of the day?
Oh man, I got some stuff. We got honestly, we got a couple of days of relaxation. Technically I'm off all week, but as a business owner, you kind of never off. So we just ended our summer camps at my karate school, so I have a whole school full of summer camps, and it's a mess. So honestly, I'm gonna put on my janitor hat and go and straighten up a little bit. But no, we're getting everything prepared. I was kind of switching things around with my staff and stuff. I have an after school program. Getting my school prepared. So, cause I'm going to be taking off I'll be going for about 5 weeks actually. So getting prepared for the after school program to transition for the kids to be picked up. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the tail end of this summer, and then obviously getting married at the end of this week, and seeing my family and stuff like that, and just having a good time with all my loved ones, friends and loved ones. So.
Well, I hope you have a fantastic wedding. I'm sure it'll be amazing. And I look forward to seeing you when you arrive in Manchester for the start of the seminars. And for anyone who's interested in seminars, Raymond will be obviously putting on his Instagram. I'll share it. We'll get it out there. And if you're in the UK over that period of time, you've got to get booked on, no matter where. It's back here. It's going to be awesome.
All right, thanks again, man. It's a pleasure actually meeting. This is our first time doing this conversation face to face. So now, I mean, we've been exchanging through IG and stuff like that. So it's a pleasure to put the text message with a voice and a face.